presented by Horns and Hooves Entertainment. You are watching Buffalo After Dark.
Good evening, guys.
Hey, Andy, show your fucking face, Andy. Don't be a bitch.
Yeah, good old Andy. So, what's up, guys? It's your host, Buffalo Bob. I'm here with Adam Fitzgerald, and I'm here with Andy Van Meer. And this is episode whatever, and I am taking in for Tom because due to unfortunate circumstances, so I am taking over for him this week. So I got Adam Fitzgerald on board. How are you doing, Adam?
I'm great. Just got home from work after working 14 fucking hours, and I continue to for the last fucking 2.5 months. So yeah, I'm great.
There you go. And then on the bottom of my screen, depending where you are, I got Andy Van Meer. What's going on?
Not much. Just enjoying this game.
Well, there's his beautiful face. Oh, Andy, where you been, my friend?
Working.
Oh, that's
I feel you, dude. I feel you.
Absolutely. So we got a lot to cover up tonight, and I promised Adam we were going to have a lot to talk about tonight, and luckily for us, we have a lot to talk about tonight. So we're going to start this whole show off with the whole segment with the Toronto Maple Leafs. And I don't know where to begin, but let's start with the obvious. And it was revealed on Thursday, the Heritage Classic jerseys between the cream white Sabres jerseys and that horrendous navy blue gigantic T jersey from the Toronto Maple Leafs. And because Adam's a Leafs fan, let's get your opinion first.
Okay, well, my basic opinion on it is fuck. You know what? The jersey's always been boring. It's always been fucking stupid. You know, what can I say? It's worse than the St. Pat's jersey. So it's and that's saying something. That's pushing the limit to be like, hey, you know what? That's a shitty fucking jersey. No, this jersey is absolute hot garbage. And yeah, it's not much effort. Thanks, Leafs. Thanks, Leaf Nation, for all the input to say. I've seen so many comments about, oh, that's a classic jersey. Everybody loves this. No, nobody loves that fucking jersey because that's a shitty jersey.
I mean, the only other jersey I could see that has this as bland of a look is probably the Montreal Canadiens. Their road jersey. You know, it's just very bland with the red shoulders, and then everything else is just white. Like that's what this.
I get it. I get it. Like, you know, you're trying to be like, oh, fucking, oh, Toronto Arenas. Oh, yeah, great. What a great pick. No, you look like a fucking, compared to the Sabres jersey, it looks like a kid that has autism came up and was like, hey, I'm going to fucking put a T on this and we're going to paint it blue.
Yeah, I had to, but it's fine. But Andy, what do you think of the Toronto Maple Leafs New Jersey?
The worst I've ever seen in my life. But I don't expect much from Toronto, so I mean the Sabres really didn't have to do anything. It just automatically looks better. Which is kind of sad.
You could have worn a fucking garbage bag. It would have been better.
That jersey's there's no thought process into that jersey whatsoever. Like Adam said, just put a fucking T on it, paint it blue, and there you go. Have a good day.
Basically, I mean, for me, I think the way that the jerseys were both designed, not just Toronto, but both teams, I feel like that because there was so much restrictions going on within the Canadian government, and they didn't know when the game was going to be played or if they were going to push it back in a year. So when they finally got a clear picture, my guess to why it looks like such crap on both sides is for the fact that they thought that the game wasn't going to be played. So if they had a little more time, I think the jerseys would have been a lot more nicer, in my opinion. What I think the Leafs
absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think that nobody cares about the Sabres and the Leafs, and they just said, fuck it, here it is.
Well, I mean, for me, I think they could have made this jersey, for at least for the Leafs, I think they could have made jersey a lot better by adding in some white striping on the shoulder patches. That's what I think they should have done.
Who came up with the idea to put the Sabres and the Leafs in the Heritage Classic? Who came up with that?
I don't have a clue. I don't make the calls. I mean,
because that's the stupidest idea I've ever heard. Like, yeah, why not put two teams or not even like anywhere close to each other. Just put them in a Heritage Classic. And by the way, Sabres, your jersey has to be cream colored, and then that. By the way, that's terrible color choice. But yeah, hey Leafs, bring out the worst because nobody's gonna watch this fucking game.
I just I love your enthusiasm on that one. I really do. What I will say though is that I don't really know if I'm gonna buy that jersey as far as the Sabres are concerned.
Don't. The color is fucking terrible. That's one thing I'll say about the Sabres jersey. The fucking color is like, hey, it's like dried up semen left for 5 days.
Jesus Christ. But I mean, it looks so much like the 2018 Winter Classic when they played against the Rangers a couple of years ago. And obviously, I went to that game, but like I could tell you, they look very similar. I mean, the big difference is the vanilla cream color on the jersey.
Yeah, so like dried up semen, basically.
In a fucking nutshell. But if I would pick the Buffalo jersey over the Toronto jersey any day of the week, just based on the.
I'll take. You know what? I second the fact that I take the Buffalo jersey, but at the same time, I think the Sabres should have done something like that color that the Leafs hot mess fucking jersey they came up with. That color on a Sabres jersey.
Believe me, I don't ever want the Sabres to ever go back to navy blue again. Believe me, I don't ever want that. I don't think Andy does
look
either.
Good. I think it would look good.
Well, we'll see what happens with that game. I mean, I expected to be a very low rating Winter Classic game or whatever you want to call it. I don't expect it to launch. I mean, I'll be watching it, of course, as I'm a Sabres fan, but like, I just don't think that it's going to be as big of an advertisement as the league wants it to be. I think it would have been better as a Winter Classic if it was in like in a national like stage, not in the middle of the fucking football field where I believe where the Tiger Cats play. I don't know. I mean,
the Hamilton Tiger Cats, like anybody gives a fuck about them. No. Yeah, CFL, nobody cares.
Basically, I mean, I don't know why they went that. They could have at least brought that to like New Era Field or another outdoor stadium in the States at a neutral site, or do what they did a few years ago, put the Hawks and the Bruins at a neutral site at Notre Dame in the middle of Indiana with two states meet in between and just have them play right there. That could have been a lot more sense to me, but because it's a Canadian exclusive to be the Heritage Classic, why did you put Buffalo in and not someone like Ottawa or even Montreal for that matter, or Vancouver? Why did you choose Buffalo?
They're trying to spark the rivalry again.
Bullshit.
That's the mainstay behind it, is the fact that they're trying to get that old, late 80s fucking rivalry that used to happen, apparently. But at the same time, you can thank the Leafs media for like any kind of coverage this gets, because Buffalo media probably ain't going to cover this shit. So
I mean, I don't know. We'll find out. But I definitely know the game in America will be played on TNT. So that's going to probably get some nationwide audience. I honestly, if I'm going to be completely honest, I actually miss the NHL on NBC broadcast. I really do. Because I think they brought a lot more energy than the ones on TNT at ESPN. I think. But that's just my opinion. But as far as the game goes, we'll see how it plays out. As I'm not too confident in it. Because I'm not as excited about it as I was 4 years ago for the Winter Classic, but we'll see how it plays out. So I guess that's the best I could say about the game, at least from my fair perspective. So continuing on with the Leafs, they made a trade over the weekend, and I'm trying to find the information on that because this came. Oh, you found it. So I know Adam's got a lot to say about this one too. Is that apparently the Leafs made not one but two trades over the week with the Coyotes, and the first one was. The Coyotes have traded forward Ryan Dzingel and Ilya Lyubushkin to the Toronto Maple Leafs for Nick Ritchie and a conditional 2025 second-round pick, or it could end up being a choice of that, a second-round pick in 2025, or a 2023 third-round pick. And then, for whatever some fucking reason, the Leafs ended up trading for Carter fucking Hutton of all people.
Okay, so there is strategy behind both those trades, and I don't think people realize. Yeah, we wish that we would have kept Dzingel off of waivers and claimed him. We were hoping that he made it the waivers or made it to the Marlies, but San Jose obviously was like, no, we're gonna fucking swoop him up. But the main idea behind the trade was the defenseman. That's what we wanted. And you know what? If I was to grade this trade, I'm not being biased. I would say that Toronto giving up Nick Ritchie and his horrible fucking contract and the money, I'd rate this trade. Look, I seen a whole bunch of rate the trade videos and stuff, and most of them, and I'm gonna say like at least 90% of them said that Toronto won the trade because they did, because they gave up a shitty fucking contract and a mediocre at best player for a really good right-handed defenseman and possibly Ryan Dangle, but you fucking lost him in the waivers. Oh well.
So it's
We don't really need that. We need the defense, and I think he'll fit in good. And if I was to rate it myself, I'd say, D+ for Arizona and an A for the Leafs on that trade.
Yeah, I don't honestly see how Arizona wins that trade under any circumstance. I seriously don't.
They don't. There's no way they can win. There's no way. They took the fucking stupidest pick you ever could have had.
Seriously. I mean, the only consolation is that second round pick, but even then, I think that's a bit too much.
It's a far-fetched fucking pick, though. It's not even like it's like, oh yeah, maybe you'll get that. I'm not saying maybe it'll be a good pick, but in right now, Toronto wins that hands down.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think Labushkin
but the Carter Hutton thing, that's not about fucking them wanting to start Carter Hutton for the Marlies or anybody. That's basically saying like we need to move cap or keep cap down, and we're gonna legit 6 hours after they took the guy, they said, hey, Tucson Roadrunners, you can have them. We don't really want them. We're just fucking using them. You can have a loan of this guy for a bit. We don't need him.
Yeah, at that point, it makes me think that the Leafs just straight out outplayed them, I think, in that one trade. It's basically saying, okay, we'll take a potential superstar Russian forward who can play within our top 9, and then we're going to take Dzingel, who we would have liked to cap, but we're going to give it to you anyway, put him on waivers, and then we'll give you basically everything else you wanted. Oh, we'll give you Nick Ritchie in a second. Sure, we'll take him.
And basically nothing. So you're basically getting nothing. That's what you're getting.
I seriously don't understand that trade from Arizona's perspective, but I do agree with Toronto that they desperately needed some depth scoring for the playoffs. And I think Labushkin will fit right in with Toronto. There's no question about that.
Well, that's what I mean. And he's apparently really good friends with Mikheyev. So they're good friends. So, you know what? They could be a duo on the line, right? So
could very well be. Andy, what do you think of the trade?
Subpar. Nothing really to talk about. I mean, I like Ritchie. I didn't like him going to the Maple Leafs. I was hoping the Sabres would snag him in the offseason, but I mean that didn't happen. So I don't know. I don't know what they're doing when it comes to Phoenix. I mean, they're a total mess, and
yeah,
I mean it's a good pickup defensively.
Okay, but be honest though. Like, who won the trade? Honestly, if you say anybody other than Toronto, you know nothing about hockey.
Well, I thought Andy was going to say something, but no, I do think though that, like I said, I definitely think at the end of the day, big picture wise, I definitely think Toronto wins this trade. I also wouldn't be shocked, in my own personal opinion, I would not be shocked if Phil Kessel or Ben Sherratt were brought up as potential trade baits for the Leafs.
I've heard the Ben Sherratt conversation more than I haven't even heard anything about Phil Kessel. I don't want that fucking cheaper eating fuck. He can stay where the fuck he is. But Ben Sherratt, yeah, you know what? That's something we could use. He's not an elite player, but he's something we definitely need.
Yeah, it's understandable though, because the Leafs desperately need defensive players at this point. Because Jake Muzzin just went on long-term injury reserve. I feel like that contract has not panned out since he was traded. to the Leafs a few years ago.
Dude, he's been. Anybody that says that, I'm just like, you know what? It panned out as good as everyone thought. He's been reliable and he needed to be, and he's. I don't know. I like the guy. I like what he does. So I have nothing to say bad about him. So.
Well, that's fair enough. But as far as the Leafs go, I only heard about the whole Phil Kessel thing earlier today. I've also heard they're interested in Mark Giordano, but I don't know if the Leafs I don't know if the Leafs need Giordano. I mean, they could get Sharap for all we know. But regardless against
another fucking 30-plus-year-old guy that fucking comes into from Seattle now to be like, oh yeah, well fuck, I'm here to. We don't need any more leaders, man. We need fucking players and put points up, get shit done. Giordano is not it.
No, at this point, I feel like the iron is hot for the Leafs, and at least has been for like 5 years. But I feel like this is the year for the Toronto Maple Leafs to make a stand on everybody, to make these moves during the deadline, and then make a deep run in the playoffs. But it really,
here's what the Leafs need to do. Here's what they need to do. Bottom line, first round, top players need to fucking show the fuck up and stop fucking making excuses for shitty play in the playoffs, man. They need to step up. Austin Matthews, Marner, Nylander, all those players need to fucking step up and do shit in the playoffs.
That's fair. And you know what? This is it. This is it for Toronto. If they don't get it done, then the questions are going to be starting to come up, and then narratives are going to start rising again. But if for some reason the Leafs do not get past the first round, is there a player in mind, Adam, that you believe could actually end up getting off the team by trade or through by contract or whatever, like a Nylander or Tavares or anybody like that?
I think if anybody moves, it'd be Nylander. To be honest, I really do think it'd be Nylander.
Could very well be Nylander because he whined and bitched a few years ago about a new contract, and now he hasn't really lived up to that contract. I mean, I know he's been having a great year, but it's like, you know,
he's always been public enemy number one when it comes to like the GM and stuff. So I just feel like if they're gonna move someone for value, because you'll get shit for him. Everybody talks shit about him, but I can guarantee you'll get stuff for him. You get return for Nylander.
Oh yeah, definitely. And if anything, whoever trades for Nylander, if he's gone, the Leafs are definitely fetching a first round pick for him. I think, at least in terms of value.
Oh, dude, it'd be a first and a player, or a first and a prospect, or two prospects. It's got to be a first at least.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen to Willie Nylander, but if his name does in fact come up in the trade rumor mill over the summer, it would definitely be interesting. Hopefully he's not traded on the day I get married, because I want to see what happens to him.
Well, at the same time, remember that one time you said, Alex Nylander's so much better. Remember that one time?
I do. I remember that.
You know what? That's something the Sabres could use, man.
Well, at least the Sabres got Henry Yukihari when that trade for him, so he's now in the friggin' AHL with Pittsburgh, or at least in their fourth line, I think, if anything.
I'm just saying, right now, the Sabres could use like an impact player, and I think William Nylander's an impact player, so.
I mean, they got Alex Tuch, they got Peyton Krebs, they got Jack Quinn, they got these young kids. So they're all starting to come up and play together.
They get a whole bunch of assets, but I'm just saying right now, if you want to stay relevant, you need players that can, contribute now.
Yeah, I agree with that. But if there's anything about the Sabres at this point, if I'm them, do not trade any of your 3 first-round picks to Toronto or any other Atlantic Division rival.
No, you need to hold on to Krebs for damn sure.
Oh yeah, Krebs.
That's one pick that I'd hold on to.
Oh yeah, Krebs is a fucking animal. That guy, by the time he's 24, he's gonna be in the peak of his prime, and he's gonna rip it with Alex Tuch, guarantee you.
Tuch is another one. Yeah, you know what? But I'd be more enthusiastic about Krebs, because Krebs is he's the real deal.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think half of the Buffalo Sabres core that they got going on right now, I think most of them are the real deal. I mean, half of them. I mean, put it this way. I just found out like 2 days ago that Owen Power is going to be joining the Sabres after Michigan's college hockey season is over, because they just announced the Mike Richter finalists, or at least 11 of them two of them are for Buffalo. One is for Devin Levi, and the other one is Eric Portello. And they're both nominees for the Mike Richter Award. So that tells me right there that the season is just about over, if almost on the verge of being over. And by the time that season ends, whoop, Owen Power is going to come up to Buffalo, and he's going to play on a first line pairing, possibly, or even second line with Darlene. But we'll see what happens after the trade deadline, because that's the best judgment I can give for the Sabres right now.
Yeah. Hey, Andy, what do you think? You fucking non-talkative person? Hey, Andy.
I think
You old fuck. You fall asleep or?
No, he shut off the mic and he shut off his camera. He's here, but he shut off his freaking mic, but it's whatever. And all right, so I don't know if you heard this. I'm sure you have. Is according to Chris Johnson, he said that Leafs first round pick in 2020, Rodion Amirov, has been diagnosed with a brain tumor.
Yeah, I heard this earlier. It's apparently it's not a cancerous tumor, but it's a non-malignant. But it's going to take him out of play for a while, from what I heard.
Oh yeah.
Apparently, it's affecting his motor skills and shit, which is understandable because it's the brain tumor. But I don't know. I just heard about it like 2 hours ago, so I'm just as new to this as you are. So
yeah, I just found that out like around this afternoon. I felt like it was appropriate to bring it up on the show, obviously because it was related to the Leafs. So I said, all right, let's bring it on and see what happens. And then sure enough, it was brought to everyone's attention. So hopefully, I wish him, Mr. Amirov, nothing but the best, and hopefully, he has a quick recovery and kick cancer's ass. That's the best way I could put it, because fuck cancer.
I don't necessarily think it's cancerous. They haven't confirmed it. They haven't said it is. From what I heard from multiple sources, is that it's malignant. So I don't think it's cancerous. It could be just a growth. So it's a basic tumor, but no one's confirmed yet. So we'll have to wait and see.
It could very well be, because we don't really know what the status is yet, but we're probably going to find out soon enough. I mean,
we can definitely think, as a Leafs fan, a Leafs Nation, that we hope it's not, because he is a really good player. I don't know if you watched some of his shit, but
I saw some of it in the World Juniors.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't wish injury on anybody, and Rodion Amirov would be no any different. So I wish him all the best for his recovery, and it's the best I could really say as a fan of a division rival, is just hope for the best. And, I want him to have a good career.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. And there's one more thing about the Leafs before we move on, and that is apparently they're being linked to Winnipeg Jets forward Andrew Kopp, according to David Pagnato of the Fourth Period. And along with them are the Oilers, the Rangers, and Capitals, Bruins, and the Lightning. And I, of course, said the Maple Leafs have all been linked to Andrew Kopp.
Fuck. You know what? I can't. I'm not gonna sit here and say no. I wouldn't want him, because fuck, it's just what you'd have to give up for him, right? I'd be all for it, but I just don't. I don't feel like we really need him, but we do. If that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. Makes a lot of sense. Because one thing is for certain, and I found this out, is he is most likely, at best, he is not staying with the Winnipeg Jets. Even if they miss the playoffs by like 3 points at season's end, he's not staying in Winnipeg. He's already demanded a trade out of Winnipeg a little while back, and he's not going to be signing an extension, and he's going to head into free agency in July. So no matter who trades for Andrew Kopp, that team's probably going to have to give up a handful of assets, because he is a good player.
Yeah, he is. He is a good player. I just feel like he'd probably most likely to go to the Oilers over anybody else.
Maybe. I could see him on the Capitals. That I could definitely see that happening.
Maybe. I just see like the keeping him in Canada idea. I don't see him going to Washington. I just see him staying in Canada.
Perhaps. So we'll find out down the road what happens to him because there is no real like spot on like team to get him. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
As far as other rumors go, there actually has been a handful of them from the Islanders, and then there's actually two in mind. And one is from Minnesota. I've heard that they're scouting Josh Bailey, and then from Colorado's perspective, I've heard that they're scouting Cal Clutterbuck because Joe Sakic was in fact at UBS Arena a few days ago when I think the Islanders were playing the Canadians, and Joe Sakic was in the building by himself, and he was scouting Clutterbuck in general.
Like, oh my god, like what else do you need, man? Like, fuck me, Colorado's already a powerhouse. If they're not a favorite by this point, then I don't even know what to say.
No, they need another player. That's for sure. They do.
I don't know. Like, what do they need though? Like, what do they need?
They need another top 6 player. They don't have it. They need another for that second line.
But wasn't Giroux fucking like linked to him?
Yeah.
Yes, but who knows what's going to unfold in the next couple of weeks?
Yeah.
I mean, that would be no fit for the second line for sure. That would solidify that second line, but they're
That'd be
still missing.
scary, dude.
Yeah,
It's fucking scary to have a Giroux on that fucking team. Scary.
But put it this way, at least in my opinion, the thing about the Colorado Avalanche is I respect the shit out of them. There was no question. Before he stopped watching hockey, my brother growing up was a huge Colorado Avalanche fan. Like he grew up with the Patrick Roys and the Peter Forsbergs and Joe Sakics, but he doesn't know anything about it now. But Colorado, to my point, is Colorado is so good on offense. Like you can't deny of how much talent they have. And I agree with Adam. How much more better can they get? And Andy brings up the idea of them getting an extra top 6 forward. So the thing is like, if this is the Avalanche plan to potentially win a cup this year, you get Giroux, but where do you put Cal Clutterbuck in this situation? I mean, Clutterbuck's probably going to be at best a 4th line winger, if not anything higher than a 3rd at minimum, because I don't know what team would want Cal Clutterbuck other than Colorado.
It's good depth.
I don't know.
Good depth.
Oh, dude, like Def is a depth player, especially for the playoffs.
Yeah,
Like,
he'll be good.
You want someone like that in your playoff lineup, even if it's 3rd, 4th line, doesn't matter. Penalty kill. You want a player like that. So it's not a stupid move for the Avalanche to make. I just don't feel like they need anything right now. Like Kel McCarr, Norris.
God.
Automatic
God.
Norris.
And
All hail Kel.
yeah, and the scary part about all this is all I can say about Kel McCarr is as good as he is, and I love watching that guy. This would have never happened if it weren't for Pierre Dorian.
I've never the last time we played the Leafs, I was watching the game, and dude, I've never had a boner over defenseman, but Kel
I love
McCarr,
that kid.
dude, the way the guy, dude, the just the way the kid fucking skates, it's effortless. I've never seen a defenseman since I don't even know when. I can't even like recall a player was as good a skater as that kid, and he can make a play out of absolutely nothing, and not even that, he can outskate half the fucking league. He's my God, one of the best picks Colorado's made in years.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the funny thing is about the Colorado Avalanche is that they've always been a historic franchise. And the thing is, the team's not that old either. And for them to be this historically good already makes a bold statement to the team because they remind me.
They're only like 20. Aren't they only like 20 years old?
No,
20 years old.
Like 25 years old because they moved from Quebec to Colorado 25 years ago and they won the cup in 96. So the first year they moved.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I don't know why I was thinking 2000. Who won the cup in 2000?
2000 was the Devils and 2001 was the Avalanche over the Devils.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, but that's the point I'm trying to make is the Avalanche, they're not that old of a team. They're really not. And for them to be this successful with this resume they have, and including the fact they're trying to win a cup now, I think is honestly genius of them because the fact that they drafted so fucking well in the last decade and a half it just further proves that Joe Sakic, because I remember the funny thing about this is I remember when Joe Sakic got hired as a GM, I'm like, why did the Avalanche just hire Joe Sakic to be their GM? It could have been worse. It could have been like Wayne Gretzky being your GM. But point being is Joe Sakic is a fucking genius. And I will tell you right now, that guy had so much to work with since he traded Matt Duchene. And he basically turned that trade over into a complete 180, screwed over Pierre Dorian, and got Cale McCarr in that trade. And then, sure enough, the Avalanche are bound to become a Western juggernaut because of that trade, including Cale McCarr.
It's just unreal to me that. Plus, my boy Kadri, nobody fucking seen this fucking kid coming in and having the season he's had. So it just solidifies the fact that like I hated the fact when they traded Kadri. I just thought it was the dumbest move and since Harold Ballard. Like it was just dumb. Kadri's always been one of my favorite players. Gritty fucking score. Has hands, good skater, hits. He's all around good player. Then he goes to Colorado and look at him right now. Like the fucking guy's a stud.
That's what I mean. The Avalanche, anything they turn from shit to gold, it's just like that. Like a complete 180.
No, see, here's the problem though. Here's the number one problem with Kadri. They never ever gave him like the top spot. They always put him up and down, put him up and down. They never ever gave him that one solidified fucking place on the first line. Never. And because there was always better players in front of him. No. They should have given him the fucking chance. They should have kept him. And now you can see why. Because now look where he's doing. So.
Well, who is he playing with?
I don't even know who he's playing with now. But all I know is that he's fucking tearing it up. But
I mean, he's playing the perfect second line center there right now. I mean, it's perfect.
Dude, he's unreal. He's unreal.
Yeah.
And another player nobody gives credit to, not enough, is Landeskog. He kept that team relevant for fucking years, and he still does.
He's that good, Gabriel Landeskog. I remember the few years ago when the Avalanche were really bad before they got really good. I remember all the trade rumors about 3 years ago about how Landeskog was going to leave Colorado and he was going to get traded to Boston and all that bullshit. And thank God for Joe Sakic that he did not make that trade, because if they traded Landeskog, I don't think the Avalanche would be anywhere near as good as they were right now, because they have a stacked offense.
He's like the team. He kept that team together. He's the only reason that team's relevant right now, or was relevant like back when they were actually shitty.
Big Daddy Landy.
Yeah,
I always liked him. He's fucking good shit.
Yeah, I freaking love watching the Avalanche. I love watching them. They're a fun team to watch. But
dude, I don't care. I don't know if you watched the last Leafs game and Avalanche game. It was insane, dude. It's the most back and forth play I've ever seen in a game. It was fucking crazy.
Kind of crazy to see the Sabres actually kept up with them for the entire fucking game.
Yeah, that's impressive. That's impressive.
That was a very good game. I think the Sabres probably could have beat them. I mean, they actually came to play, but got a little bad luck in the third period, and that was that. But still, I mean, they looked good against them, so I was kind of nervous for them. I'm like, are these guys really as good as they think they are? But I mean, they really need another winger on that top six to solidify it. Kadri's great in the middle. Burakovsky on the other wing. They just need one more player in that top six, and I think they're good to roll.
It's just that one key player. You get that one key player, man, you're fucking unstoppable.
Get them over the hump.
Yep. And I think adding Giroux, I think, would definitely solidify the offense for the Avs, because it's honestly.
Well, that's what I mean. You get Giroux, then that's a whole different level of scary, because I would not want to face that team in the playoffs at all.
No, nobody does at that point. But the thing is though, it's the worst kept secret in the NHL right now. But the fact that Claude Giroux has openly said, I want to leave Philly to win a cup. And I don't blame the guys. The Flyers are not going anywhere at this point. And trading Giroux is probably in Philly's best interest. But the thing is, what would the Avalanche give up? Definitely a first-round pick, because that's definitely what Giroux is cost. But like I said, it's going to be so interesting and fun to watch at this point with the trade deadline because that's like my favorite time of the year next to free agency. So it's like, I love watching players move, but I want to definitely see what the package return is that's going to be going from Colorado to Philadelphia in that trade. I'm really curious.
Dude, it's like the trade for Toffoli to Calgary.
Oh, dude,
that right there just made Calgary 10 times better.
Yeah,
it did. It made them 10 times better, and they didn't even give up too much to get them. So, like, I don't know. But it's like, if you get Claude Giroux, you're looking at a 10 times better trade, no matter what you give up. So,
well, yeah.
That guy will be a fucking player for the next 5-6 years. Still the same caliber, so.
It's insane, honestly. It really is insane. But there's going to be a lot more of rumors coming along pretty damn soon. I actually wouldn't be surprised if there was a trade tomorrow. I mean, I don't know who, but it would be nice if Giroux were to be traded tomorrow to Colorado, so just so we can get rid of all the speculation for him at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the best case scenario for Colorado right now. The land Giroux, that'd be your best case scenario.
They have to. I mean, it's the best way to go for the Avs at this point. I mean, there's not much else to say about them, but just hope for the best. Like I said, the Avalanche are just too good at this point to not win the Stanley Cup. They have to get Claude Giroux, and they have to get Cal Clutterbuck. That's the best way. Like I said before, I think that would best solidify the Avalanche.
Clutterbuck would be like an advantage in the playoffs. So, well, not saying Giroux wouldn't either, but I'm just saying that if they can get Giroux and not worry about Clutterbuck, whatever.
Yeah.
Take Giroux. Take that trade.
Yeah.
They're going to have to because Kadri's a UFA after this season. So if they're going to go in and make a better run than they did last year, they got to get somebody in that top six.
Yep, and the same thing Giroux.
Kadri's going to get paid too. And so, like, anybody thinks that Kadri's going to get less than fucking $7.5 to $8 million a year, they're dreaming.
I mean, if he's willing to stay in Colorado, I wouldn't be shocked if Joe Sakic asked him to take a pay cut and dig it for under less than $6.5 million.
Probably, but I don't see him taking any less than that. I don't know. I wish he'd come back to Toronto, to be honest, but
you want him back so bad, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Of course you do. And wait a minute, who did they give him that trade? Tyson Barrie?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That makes it worse. Because Tyson Barrie is kicking an ass. He's kicking ass right now in Edmonton, so that's not making the trade any better.
No.
Jesus Christ. But what's the word I'm looking for? So there's also been other things that's been going around hockey-wise, and for me specifically is I just found out, and I took advantage of this right away, actually, and that was that UBS Arena is no longer requiring proof of vaccination or negative tests for guests entering the arena, and masks are now considered optional at UBS Arena. So if you want to...
Yeah! Fuck the mandates. Fuck the mandates. Yep. Fuck Trudeau.
And everything... Fuck that guy. But
no, main thing, fuck Trudeau.
Oh, yeah. I'm so glad he got exposed. So that it just further backfires everything on him. And as a result, I took an advantage of that note. Immediately I saw that note, I went right to GameTime.com, which sent me to Ticketmaster for some reason, and I bought tickets for next Thursday's game for the Islanders against the Vancouver Canucks. So I'm going to go see the Islanders play the Canucks next Thursday with my buddy CJ. So that's going to be my first game in almost a year and a half, 2 years, since I've been at a live stadium. So it's going to be fun.
I'll put this point out here. Not that I'm trying to get political or any of that bullshit.
Go ahead.
But I don't know if anybody follows what's going on in Canada, all that absolute bullshit. But last weekend, I made my trip to Ottawa, and I joined 652 veterans at the War Memorial at the Unknown Soldier at Ottawa.
Yeah.
The cops, the RCMP, and the Ottawa police were guarding this statue like they owned it, and 652 veterans pushed them out. Be like, this is not your fucking right to guard the statue. You don't have the right to. You don't have the. You have no fucking right to guard a statue of something you've never served for. So we pushed them out. We guarded the statue. Nothing happened, and they try to make it out to be like the veterans and the protesters were ensuing violence towards the police, basically.
Yeah.
Once we showed up and they seen that we had numbers, they basically fucked off and left us alone, and we protected the graveyard of the tomb of the unknown soldier in Canada. I don't know if everybody knows about that. For 4 days we watched this statue, we watched over it, and nobody ever even came close to it. And fuck Trudeau and fuck their government. And yeah.
And because of all the backlash that Trudeau probably got over the week, I found out today that he has decided to invoke the Emergency Act, which is great.
He dropped it. Yeah, he dropped it.
And you know what, Adam? As a fellow American, we're right here with you. We're standing by you. The people love Canada, but we're right here with you until the very end. And you better make sure, fellow Canadians, do not let him do this again, because you will fuck him up. And I know you're guaranteed to do that.
Yeah, he doesn't have a leg to stand on at this point. He's pretty much
he's in limbo.
His voter percentage ratings that's like favored the vote for him is like 6%.
Good, fuck him.
There's no lower percentage in the history of the world for voter polls to say you have a 6% satisfaction rating and willing to vote for someone.
Yeah. So, and you know what? It's really interesting. I found a double standard, and not to go on about this whole thing because I want to move on to something else, is I found a post on Friday. I think it was like Getter, I believe. And it was a double standard tweet from the Canadian officials and the foreign policies from Canada. And they said, Canada condemns Cuba's harsh sentencing following the July 2021 protests. Canada strongly advocates for freedom of expression and the right to peacefully assembly, free form, and intimidation. And we stand with the people of Cuba and their aspiration for #democracy. Then 7 months later, the Ottawa police says, demonstrators, you must leave. You must cease further unlawful activity and immediately remove your vehicle and or property from all unlawful protest sites. Anyone within the unlawful protest site may be arrested.
Yeah. So basically what happened like last week when douchebag fucking invoked the Emergency Act on a bunch of peaceful protesters, legit, the most peaceful protest you'll ever see in your fucking life. There was bouncy castles for fucking kids. Kids were playing in certain areas of this fucking. I seen it with my own eyes. I couldn't believe it. I've never seen anything so peaceful in my fucking life. So when the police, the RCMP, the OPP, and the Ottawa police started forming lines to push people out of the red zone, they called it. Everybody just sat down and turned their backs to them. So if they initiate any kind of violence, they'd be held liable, basically, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. When I showed up there, I wasn't expecting too much. I was expecting the fact that maybe, a couple veterans show up, blah, blah. I wasn't not expecting to show up to Ottawa and see as many. At one point, there was 1,500 veterans. There was guys from 80 years old. One guy was legit, couldn't walk and had to be helped to the front line. It was something that like you can only see it once in a lifetime. It was something that you'd have to see once to be like, oh my God, I didn't realize that people are so united when they had to be. And we as veterans push this line back. And I'm sorry I'm talking about politics, but we we pushed this line of police back at least a kilometer, and they weren't like pushing back at us. And they left at one point, and yeah, it was a beautiful thing to see, like Canadians just come together, and the support that we've had from all over Canada, all over the world, the States especially.
Yeah.
It's we've gotten support from everywhere, dude.
Yeah,
like anywhere you can think of, any country,
including
like
the United
Germany,
States.
Belgium, everywhere, dude. Netherlands, anywhere you can think of, we gotten
Australia.
support for it. Everywhere.
Yeah.
It's
And
insane.
yep. And my favorite picture, and I sent you this the other day, is this picture of a Canadian flag and American flag standing side by side. I love this picture because it unites us both in one country. Because you're over there in Canada, I'm down here in the United States. So it really brought a special place in my heart about all this. And honestly, this picture reminds me so much of you in so many aspects. And I'm not just saying that either. I really do, because you're the only legit Canadian I give a shit about.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
no, we started it, and it's a good thing, man. Like it.
But
What?
Gallagher versus Fitzgerald teeing off.
Yep. So that was just a beautiful thing to see over the week. And Trudeau finally submitted. He stepped in and he basically said, fuck it, I'm just going to invoke it now. So the people in this case have won the war. But don't let your guard down on him, period. That's just the basics.
They haven't stopped here, dude. We've given up like the border crossings and shit, but we haven't given up the protests. We're still going. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. Do not submit to anything. Do not give him an inch. It's very simple. But in general, though, so let's wrap up tonight's episode with a few NFL rumors because because free agency starts in about 2.5 weeks from now, and there's actually one rumor which really stood out to me, which was on Monday night, and the rumor was this again. If you remember from last year's episode during the free agent frenzy, that infamous Sam Darnold trade, which Adam fucking despises. 1 year later, we are back in the same circle, back to square one, but only this time the Panthers actually inquired and called the Vikings about Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, and I will say this: at least Kirk Cousins is a legit quarterback, not a fucking piece of dog shit like Sam Darnold. You know what? I said it before. I'll say it again. Sam Darnold, I would trust my 6-year-old to be the quarterback of the Panthers over Sam Darnold. I would legit take a homeless person off the side of the street and be like, hey, man, have you ever thrown a football before? Oh, yeah? Okay, well, get in there because Sam Darnold is not worth shit.
No, he's not. And the crazy thing about this rumor is the Vikings are allegedly asking for 2 first-round picks. I'm like, okay, first off, Kirk Cousins is not worth 2 first-round picks. The only time you give up 2 first-round picks is if it's like 2 elite wide players in this deal. So if it was like Kirk Cousins and Adam Thielen in this trade, then maybe that's the only suggestion I give for giving up 2 first-round picks. Because you're giving up 1 for Cousins and 1 for Thielen. And Thielen's a good receiver, and both him and Cousins gel really well together with Minnesota. So if the Panthers,
I do that, but like at the same time, I'm willing to like give them Sam Darnold. So like, I'll give you a first-round pick, Sam Darnold. You give me fucking Cousins.
Well, we'll have to find out because I think again, Carolina's going to be in the rumor mill because I actually heard recently they're interested in Jimmy Garoppolo, but I don't think they're going to be as strong suitors with Jimmy G as they would be for Cousins because Cousins, they keep saying in the media that he's going to stay with the Vikings, which I'm starting to seriously doubt that because of the new coaching staff, and I think they want a different sense of direction. I think trading Cousins to Charlotte or to Carolina in this situation, I think would really benefit the Panthers offense. It would make them a lot better, I think, in my opinion. And I said the same thing last year. But the one rumor I have heard in the last couple of days was the Panthers were willing to trade the 6th overall pick in the deal to give up to the Vikings as part of the trade for Cousins. That's what I heard.
Fuck, I don't know. I like Cousins. I think he's a legit quarterback. I think he'd fit in well, and he definitely ain't Sam Darnold. So no, I just don't. Two first round picks. No, is you have to throw in something, and it have to be something good. And again, that duo from the Vikings, yeah, I'd take that.
Absolutely. I mean, they would be a great trade because I've heard recently Robbie Anderson wants to leave the Panthers to go back to the fucking Jets.
I guess he's decided that his career is over and he wants to retire because that's where you go to die.
The fucking Jets. I can't stand that. And believe me, I'm in this shithole. I'm surrounded by Jets fans, and you will legit have no idea how fucking stupid these people are. It's ridiculous.
You know what? The one thing I love about the New York Jets fan base is that they still have hope. They still have hope that their team is not going to be garbage. And I give them kudos for the fact that they still have fans, let alone they have faith that someday they'll be relevant. But until then, like, God bless you, Jets fans. God bless you.
I don't know who's gonna be worse, them or the Dolphins. I don't know.
They got a lot of work to do.
I still feel like the Jets are going to be irrelevant for the next 5 years.
Oh, believe me, I fully expect that. The Jets can go out and spend as much money as they want on free agents. I don't give a fuck who they bring in. I don't care if it's Melvin Gordon. I don't care if it's Dalton Schultz. I don't give a shit. The Jets will do anything to stay relevant. And the amount of money they spend every fucking year on free agents instead of developing their own guys, it just further just proves they are just very, very, very poorly run. And the fact that they moved on from Darnold, which I think was the right thing for them to do, and obviously they forbid.
Oh, you should have fucking kept them. I don't want that fucking bullshit. This fucking horse shit.
Yeah. And they traded him to Carolina, of course, and they got some assets. And then they go out and ruin Zach Wilson. His rookie year was horrendous. So I don't even know where to go.
It's I compare Zach Wilson to like Stafford and fucking in Detroit. Like you ruined the guy's half of his fucking career to be in there and deal with that shit show. And then he goes to a better team and look, all of a sudden, he wins the Super Bowl.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And now the Lions are stuck in limbo. God damn it.
They're another team that's going to be fucking shit for a long time.
Adam, they've been shit for 60 years.
Well, I'm just saying, like, even shittier, if that's possible.
Oh, yeah. Trust me, the Lions have no fucking clue what they're doing. I mean, they got Dan Campbell, and I like him as a coach, but I'm just not sold on the fact that he's the guy, if you get what I'm saying. The thing I think the Lions desperately need is they got to figure out what the fuck they're going to do with Jared Goff because he is horrible. I don't like Jared Goff. I was never a big Jared Goff guy to begin with. And all of a sudden now he's going to Detroit and he has a horrendous first year and they're stuck with his ass for another 2 years or something.
Well, that's what I mean, though. Like, it goes to show a good quarterback and basically a quarterback that was doing good because your team was good. And that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
You look at, like, quarterbacks like fucking even Josh Allen. Like, you go to a team, you first come in, your team is, like, mediocre at best at the time, and you make the best of it. It shows a good quarterback.
Yep.
But you look at Goff, like, he had all the assets to be good, but he was just mediocre.
Yeah, I'm not sold on Jared Goff, period. But I've also heard rumors about the Panthers being interested in Mitch Trubisky.
Oh God, no! Absolutely fucking not. Absolutely not. You might as well bring back Darnold 2.0.
Oh, Mitch. He's a good backup, though. He's a good backup.
Yeah, he's good. He's good to come in and get 4 yards. That's about it. You want the guy to get a fucking okay? Well,
he ran for a touchdown this year. Calm down. He can run.
Jesus fucking Christ! You bring in any backup quarterback and be like, hey man, can you get this ball one foot? Yeah, I can do my best, coach. I'll do my best. That's him.
I mean, It'd be the icing on the fucking cake for the Panthers at that point.
I will lose my fucking shit.
Yep. And
I will tell you this now. If they do something stupid like that, I will stop.
Green?
I'm done with the Panthers. At this point, if they do something like that, I'm done. That's it.
we'll find out in 3 weeks.
I'll take McCaffrey with me, and that's it. We're done.
Oh, speaking of McCaffrey, and I'm glad you brought that up because his name is apparently being brought up in trade rumors again.
Yeah, well, if he can stay healthy, that'd be great. Otherwise, I'm not making a pitch for him.
That's what I mean. That's the thing, man. Like man. He's like on the same level as Henry, but Henry stays healthy. So I feel like fuck me. I love the kid. I love him. He's great. He's a amazing running back. But you have to stay fucking healthy. You have to, because not only are you fucking your team, you're fucking your career being injured 24/7.
Yep. And one of the teams I've heard, there were 2 teams I heard that were brought up that be in the McCaffrey rumor mill. One was Miami, and the other one was Buffalo.
Okay, well, all right, I'll tell you what. Wherever McCaffrey goes is where I'm going. So
if McCaffrey fucking comes to Buffalo, I'm getting that fucking jersey. I don't even care.
Well, you know what? Ideally, if he went to Buffalo, it'd be like, oh, sweet, because I already like Josh Allen. I think the Bills are great, but he goes to the Dolphins. I might have to do this.
Oh God.
Oh,
it'd be nice to see him twice a year, but I don't know if I want to see him playing for the Dolphins.
No,
I much rather he play for the Bills. To be honest.
Fuck the Dolphins, man. Fuck that team. I cannot stand them. But you know what, though? I will say there are going to be a lot of interesting free agents this year. And we're not that far off from the frenzy. So I do expect Carolina to be a lot smarter this time around to get a quarterback. And my final prediction is I do think they will trade for Kirk Cousins, but it will not be for 2 first-round picks. I think it's going to be 1 first-round pick, not this year's, but next year's first-round pick. It's going to be a 2023 first-round pick and a 2024 second, and then a conditional 5th in 2024 also, and another player. Not a superstar, but somewhere in like that could be a star caliber player for the Vikings. That's what I think they're going to do.
Not unless we get the fucking duo. I want the duo of the fucking Vikings.
Well, that's going to be tricky because I don't know what they would give up outside of that 6th overall pick. If they want to give up those 2 first-round picks, that would definitely solidify it. But to get both Cousins and Thielen, that's going to cost a lot. And I hope you're prepared for that. And the Vikings have to desperately get out of cap hell because they're, I think, like $35 million over the cap. So the Vikings desperately have to get rid of that.
That's the one thing the Carolina Panthers have is surplus in cap space.
Mm-hmm. I also wouldn't be surprised, too, if they made a running for Russell Wilson because I've heard that name come up recently.
Oh, nope. Get fucked. I'm sick of hearing these fucking rumors. I'm fucking sick of it. I'm done. I don't want Watson. I don't want Wilson. He can go fuck himself too. He's a fucking bum. I don't want either.
Well, that's another problem because the Vikings, apparently Deshaun Watson is allegedly saying that if he wanted to be traded to another team, he's most interested in playing for the Vikings and he wants to play with Justin Jefferson.
All right, well, go to the fucking Vikings. Give me fucking Cousins. Get fucked.
That's the problem because if they make that trade, Cousins would go to Tampa.
Well, all right. Well, fuck no. I don't want to think of that. I'd rather take Cousins and give up the two first, take the duo, and then don't worry about Watson or fucking Wilson because I don't want Wilson. I'm sorry. I don't like him as a quarterback. I don't like him as a fucking person. So,
what about what was I going to say? What about Jimmy Garoppolo?
Absolutely not.
I don't think he's going to Carolina. I think he's going to go to Pittsburgh.
Absolutely not. I have no respect for that.
You're saying he's not even going to get traded. You're going to say fucking Trey Lance needs 1 more year before he can fucking go. I'm like, whatever, man. Whatever.
No, keep him around. He's good where he's at. He serves his purpose where he's at. But that's not something we want or need.
Yeah, I mean, I don't honestly know how this is going to play out, but I know for a fact the Bills are going all in on free agents and they're going to go all in on the draft and they're going to make that push to be a juggernaut in the playoffs next year. That's for certain. The Panthers
Bills have no money. How the fuck are the Bills going to be a juggernaut in the free agency? They have no money.
Well, that's why they
Yeah,
got to make
no,
some
they're
sacrifices.
they don't need to do much and like make a big splash. They don't. So
They need a corner and they need a defensive tackle, at least in the first round.
yeah,
One
but
of the two.
you can get that though. You can get that easier than the fucking quarterback and the fucking running back or wide receiver. So it's you got all of the tools. You just need a couple pieces.
They got nobody in the middle for pass rush. I mean that their defensive tackles are fucking average right now. Average.
Well,
Yeah, but at the same time, what do you need though? Like, what do you need more than what you have? Like, you're not going to get anything any better than what you have.
They need somebody explosive in the middle to stop the fucking run and to get bust through the middle to the fucking quarterback. There's nobody explosive in the interior.
That's the only weakness I've ever seen with the Bills is the running game and the defensive line in the middle.
I mean,
And now they probably think they're probably going to need another corner if Levi Wallace leaves. And now with Trey having a bad fucking ACL injury, you want kind of insurance back there. And I mean, the first round is loaded with fucking good corner talent. So, like I said, it's either going to be a corner or a defensive tackle. But they need both.
yeah, they got to.
A lot of things that the Bills need is like being able to stop that fucking one play. The thing that killed them in the playoffs was not being able to stop that one fucking play that was like 3 yards. That game would have been over. Like you had the chance, you just lost it.
Yep, 13 seconds. That's all they needed was 13, and they fucking blew it.
I understand
That's how
that. Like they didn't have Trey in there who could have locked down, Mr. Cheetah, who ran around him.
They could have.
They could have, they had no push up the middle, and when they had a chance to stop Mahomes on third down, plenty of times they couldn't. They couldn't stop him on third
That's
down.
the thing, right? Is being able to stop it when you need to.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, this free agent frenzy class is going to be nuts, and I have a feeling that's going to be the case. I mean, I expect the Bills to go all out like any team, and I expect the Panthers to be looking into the QB spot again because Darnold clearly not.
I'm sick of fucking hearing about the QB situation. Jesus fucking Christ. Let's move on. Like, God, yeah, I know our QB's a bum. We brought in Cam Newton. Like, yeah, let's bring back Cam Newton to be like, he's gonna solve all our fucking problems. Nope. He didn't. Still mediocre. Always has been.
Yep. Well, we're at the finish line of the show, and is there anything you guys else want to say before we wrap up for the week?
Yeah. Hashtag go fuck yourself, Darnold.
Andy?
Hopefully, with the NHL trade deadline coming up soon, I hope the Sabres, unload quite a few players that I could see gone for some extra picks. And I don't know, I've seen a lot of things lately that, maybe picking up a player of, that's decent. One person I'm kind of valuing them to get in the trade deadline or by the trade deadline, even though, you don't see a lot of bottom feed teams, making moves for players, but I would like them to go after, Lawson Crouse from Arizona. I think he could be a good staple moving forward. But,
hey, I'll give you William Nylander for Krebs and a pick.
Fuck that. They're not giving up Krebs.
That's tempting. That is tempting because you know what? Unlike his, shitty brother Alex, I mean,
yeah,
William actually produces. Maybe not to your liking, but I mean, the numbers speak for themselves.
Dude, he's consistent. If you look at it, he's still consistent.
It'd be tough to give up on Krebs because I think he's going to be one hell of a playmaking player. I don't know. That's too fresh. I don't know. That's. I mean, it's not like the Sabres can't afford it. I mean, they got money to play with. They can do a lot of things. But
Krebs and a pick for Nylander is a steal, dude.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. I don't know.
Yeah. So, all right.
I'd even take like a second round pick.
Perhaps.
Shit, I'd be sold then.
Yeah, but the Sabres are not good.
Just to have Krebs.
I would
Sabres-
hate myself if the Sabres traded Krebs to the Leafs at some point. That I don't think that will happen, but it would be just like, Jesus Christ, did they seriously do that? I mean,
Hey, they need established wingers, man. They got all these young centers. They got to figure out what the fuck to surround them with.
That's what I mean, man. I'm telling you, there's teams chomping at the bit that would take Nylander in a heartbeat.
oh yeah, for certain. So I guess that's it for this week for Buffalo After Dark. Thank you guys for joining us, and thank you for listening. And I am Buffalo Bob with Adam Fitzgerald, Andy Vermeer, and we are going to sign out. And Tom, before we all leave, I just want to say a quick shout out to Tom Woodjack, who's not with us tonight because his girlfriend Des is in surgery, removing a cancer tumor, and hopefully, she's apparently having a good surgery, and she is recovering, and she's doing really well, and that's all the best we can give to Des. So, Des, Tom, if you're watching this, we're here for you guys. If you ever need anything, let us know, okay? So,
All the best, Tom. Des, take care. Hope you get better soon.
all righty. And we will see you next time.
Buffalo After Dark is an H&H Studio production and is produced in partnership with Horns & Hooves Entertainment.